Hi everyone, it's Artist from Man Carpentry. Today we're gonna fit a double glazed door from Screwfix. I've been doing windows. I think I've got a video of the fitting windows. They're all quite similar to fit, to be fair. So depending on where you fit in. This time it's gonna be door into the timber frame, but it's gonna be quite similar to fitting in masonry. So basically, first job you need to do, you need to check that you got everything before you obviously commence the work, because once you've taken the door out and you realize that you don't have, you know, enough, or you got some parts missing or something, then it's going to be a bit too late. So make sure that you got everything what you should have. I have sort of checked. We got keys, handle lock, seals, caps, all that sort of stuff we got, so we should be okay. So yeah, I will fit it. Third job you need to start with, you need to work out where you're going to. If it's going to be masonry, you're probably going to go back to the masonry where it was originally. In my case, we're going to the front of the batten by frame being flush with that point, because we're going to trim up the cladding later on. So first job, I measured the width of the seal. I allow 5mm for end caps, so it's a snug fit. So in my case it's 845, so I cut it 8.4, and that should be enough to have a snug fit. So once I've done that, I use a glue, spray glue to glue them on. So let me just bear with me a second. So these are the bits. I've already cut the seal, so all I got to do now is add the caps. When you choose the glue, make sure it's non-yellowing, because there are some which do yellow. So before you buy, you need to check in stock, because some of these two compound glues who's activated, there's some of them yellow plastic, so you want to make sure it is suitable for plastic and it's not gonna cause any damage. So spray them. Hold flame for 5 seconds. So let's just check before you do other end. That should be fine. Just make sure you check, because you can get the ends off, but you might snap it. So before you stick the other end, you check. To be fair, I meant to do this door a while ago, but weather's not been the best, so today is the day. It's quite fresh, but it is sunny, so this video is a bit in a rush, but I will try to give and share as much as I can. So the ends are glued. Next step for me is to silicone where the seal will be. I have slightly overcut it, but I will compensate it with silicone. You want to cut it in the corners, felt out like so. So if your corner's there, you want it cut there so you can fold it back. Same this side. But what I usually do, because this is felt and there's no no flashing of any kind. Felt actually works as a flashing. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a bead of silicone here, and then I'm gonna put a bead of silicone here, because all the water will collect on the bottom. So I'll seal, make like a tray if you like, and anything what gets there can't get through because that's felt. So sometimes you would have LED flashings. It really depends on the build. This time that's what I'm gonna do. So hello deal. So don't be shy on the silicone. Come up and put there in the corner. Join this, make sure it's sealed. Then position your seal, which will be roughly 70 millimeters. So 70 millimeters to the, that's roughly, you can set it in to where you need to be. In my case it's the button, edge of the button. So I'll just get tape, check that. Doesn't push. Put these blocks so it doesn't push my seal too far. So next step is to unscrew all the bits of the door. Also, before you put the seal on, don't forget to check if it's level. For me it's fine because that's a new bit which I built, so that's alright, but if you do it on an old bit, so you might have to pack it, so bear that in mind. So you will need a, once you removed all the bits from the frame, you will have to put at least one side of handle, because you need to open the door to be able to screw the screws. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to first lift in position, and then I use this. You will need the key as well. Before you fit it onto the seal, you want to remove, before you fit it, you want to remove the bottom like a film to make things easier. Once you fit it into the seal, it won't come off easy enough. So do it beforehand, ideally. And that, lock it. So you got your handle in, you have your key in. Now I'm going to put it into the opening. You want to prepare 15mm screws to screw through the frame into the seal. Maximum you can use is 60s, 60mm long. Anything bigger you could potentially screw through the seal, which you don't want to do, obviously, because then it could cause trouble in the long term once the silicone is gone, and if it hasn't sealed, you know. So that's what you want to avoid, drilling through the seal. So yeah, next step, putting in position, opening it up, fixing the seal onto the frame, and then also, depending on what your circumstances are, I will put like a timber here, timber block, to prevent it from falling out on both sides, because obviously I'm on my own, no hand to I got no help today, so I'll just do it, you know, like to help prevent falling out. So I'll do them now, and then I will fit the door into the position. So now, after I've done that, next step is fitting the door in a position. Check your seal, whether it's level or not, before you commence, because obviously then it means you need to undo everything again. So you don't want to do jobs twice. So make sure you're happy with what you got. We are all good. So we're good on level, so I'm happy with that. What I'm gonna have to do is to trim slightly this before, otherwise I can't open the door, which is okay. These things happen, so I'm gonna be I'll do that now. Okay, so cut that off, and we should be okay to. Top seems to be alright. It's that side, so I'll get that done, and we can carry on. So once you have fixed the seal, next step is work your way up, fix the bottom, both sides, and then start leveling up to get your frame where you need it, basically. In my case, it's going to be in line with this 2x1, so obviously your case could be slightly different, and yeah, so that's we on to next. You will need some wedges when you do the top, because obviously the weight of the door will want to lean the frame on squint, so get some wedges. Usually I keep like a handful on me. So you will see stuff like that. That is basically a spring for your handle. So fit it like so. As you can see, so like so. So you put it in with your handle being down in this position. You put it on it, and then you engage it by spinning it. That is a spring for the handle to come back. This screw here is the one which fixes the cylinder. So sometimes when it comes, the cylinder squint, so release that and you'll get your handle in as and where it needs to be. Just make sure everything works. In my case, I need to cut this board slightly back so I can open it fully, but it locks. Seems to work fine. Obviously the glass is the one which will determine that, so you need to pack the glass. Sometimes doors aren't square, so you might have to pack one side to cantilever that. But you know, if that is usually if the frame is not square for some reason, then you need to by packing, you pull it basically. By packing glass, you can pull it whichever way you need to pull it to get it shut in basically. So but in our case I think it's all good, it shuts freely. Let's have a look there. Yeah, plenty of gap everywhere. So also when I do doors, I usually put packers underneath where the hinge is going to be, and screw near the hinge position, so it's stronger. With the side, same with the side where the locking mechanism is, I will pack the side where the like locking mechanism is. So I'll pack there, and then you know, that then foam in, etc. And that would be that. Yeah, so next step for us is to get the glass in, and the, well, not for me, next step is get glass panels in. This is plastic panel and then glass, so that's what we're going to be doing next. And then we're nearly there, and then really expanding foam. Forgot, before I forget, what we will do, we will silicone these areas up to here somewhere, so that is sealed. If there is any sort of water ever getting in, it can't run on the floor and damage the floor. Usually it's going to be on the bottom part of it, so we'll do like a half meter, or you can do all the way around or sides, it's up to you. I'll do about half a meter up, maybe a bit more. So we silicone the both sides, mostly bottoms been done before we put the seal in. So next step, as I said, is the glass, and very last thing, once I fitted other bits, is to form from inside the gap around the frame, and that would be it then. So let's get the glass, bring that in. Before you fit the glass, I don't know if the camera will show you, but there's like a ridge from plastic rubber. So I usually cut that off because I've seen people before fitting the glass, and because it's a build up, especially when the weather is not the warmest, which is like today in the winter time, and that could potentially cause glass plate to crack. So what I do, I get a knife and I just cut it flat. I'll do it on all four corners. So that's done. So I'm gonna go get a glass and we can crack on. First I'm gonna put plastic panel in, because obviously that can't crack. There's always a chance that something can crack, so less disturbance. The plastic panel, you're gonna see here, comes as plastic, foam, MDF and plastic. So MDF goes on the inside. So again, I push corner in. Beforehand, I tap it, then push it up as high as I can, Then I bend down in the middle, put the bead in a channel, and that way when you, like you can see there will be a gap, but once you push it in the middle, it closes all the seams. And then what I do after that is I take my mallet and start working one way. Light taps. That's done. So the next is glass. I do the same thing. You pack the glass up. So with the glass it's slightly easier because you can see the margin. So you want glass to be in the middle. Also, what you don't want to do, you don't want to block these holes because they are drain holes. And before I put the glass, I will dry it clean so it doesn't make condensation unnecessary. Be careful when you handle glass. If you touch the glass panel with the corner of the panel, it will shatter. So be very careful. Once you've fitted the glass, make sure the door opens and shuts without any problems. Now I'm gonna get it foamed up. As for adjusting the door, so every door is slightly different, every manufacturer, but in this case, to be fair, there is a instructions stuck onto the hinge cover. So in short, these screws, the furthest screw adjusts the height. So if you need to adjust for the height, and these two are ones which adjust door side to side, where you need to unload the screw, twist which way you need door twisting, and that's how you get it adjusted basically. So once you're finished, all you do is put that back on. I had to do slightly, just a little bit, and yeah, that is basically it. Well, to be fair, no manufacturer is the same, so you're gonna have to check with manufacturers. Sometimes I've done a door where all the adjustments get done by two screws placed in this area here, but these are slightly different. So yeah, so sometimes you could get a door or hinge. Usually those hinges are which adjust the on a knuckle, they fix to the side of the door rather than the face of the door. So that's how you can tell. These which come with the face fixing on a hinge, they will be adjustable two ways. One, height will be adjustable by moving or screwing this screw in or out, and that will adjust the height, and obviously the side to side motion will be done by screws behind this panel. You can see here you can put a screwdriver, gently pry off, and yeah, that's how you get the doors adjusted. But again, as I mentioned before, every door manufacturer is slightly different, so just check. Usually it comes in with instructions, so just make sure you check which type you got, and yeah, it's basically quite straightforward, to be fair. Usually it's not too bad. So the door is in, I hope you will find it useful. Obviously it was a bit easier because you got timber frame here. We got timber frame, so it's easier to fix. If you would have masonry, I would use masonry screws, which come without plug, where you drill in with 6.5mm drill bit hole for 7mm masonry or ammo screw, call it what you want. There's a few names for them, so I'll be using that. So don't forget to silicone your sides, which you would have to do if you do on a masonry anyway. Here the only difference is that's going to be covered with cladding or with the frame, like a block of wood all the way around, just finish it off like a trim. So yeah, I hope you found it useful, and I will catch up you in the next video.